really steal your spouse's wedding ring? Well, today we're going to jump into a case where one party's extracurricular activities have led the parties to the ultimate breakup, which is divorce. And now we have to figure out who gets to keep the wedding ring. And of course, we're going to be breaking everything down, so make sure you're commenting below your thoughts on the case, and we'll talk about all the nitty-gritty details of this case as we go through it. So let's jump right into the background of the case.
I have here before me Carolyn Holly and Trinell Holly. The two of you have been together for 12 years, married for 5 years. You do not want to be married anymore. Mrs. Holly, you contend that Mr. Holly stole your engagement ring, pawned it, and you couldn't get it back, and you are suing him for the value of that ring, which you claim is $3,100.
Yes.
So, like in all divorces, you have to divide the assets, but the main asset that is subject to division in this case is a wedding ring that the woman is claiming the husband pawned without her permission. But the real question is, who does the wedding ring actually belong to? Is it community property? Does it belong to the wife? Does it belong to the husband if he's the one that paid for it? Let's check it out.
And I want to say my senior year, I got really sick. And I ended up going to the doctors. My grandmother took me, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. I, told Mr. Holly, and everything, he told me, don't worry about it, give me time. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to find a job. Just don't worry about it. He seemed happy. After that, I didn't see Mr. Holly again until, I want to say I was about 6 months. I had ran into him. And then after that, I didn't see him again, I want to say until after my son was born.
Well, they were seeing each other since this woman was in middle school, but by the time she was a senior in high school, he got her pregnant and then just abandoned her. We got to see how they ended up married, because that's crazy.
You told him that you were pregnant?
Yes.
Was he still in high school with you? I mean, was he dodging you in the hall? I mean,
Well,
how did you not see him?
He was a year older than me.
Oh.
He was a year older than me. So when I was in 12th grade, he had already, he was out of school.
Gotcha.
So.
And he made himself scarce after you found out. Now, Mr. Holly, is that true?
Not exactly as that, but yeah, you can say that. I didn't really think the kid was mine for a minute.
There was a possibility the child might be yours.
Yes, ma'am. But
so why wouldn't you just stick around just on that kind of tip?
I was nervous, moved on.
And the fact that there were other possible fathers and the judge is asking why he didn't just stick around, I would probably also be concerned about contributing to a child that is not mine. And this is what happens when we're in messy situations and we're having children out of wedlock. That man is not automatically considered the father. So he would need a DNA test to basically prove that he's a father, or he would have to acknowledge it in a voluntary declaration of parentage that he is the father. In this case, it sounds like he didn't do that and potentially tried to escape responsibility, which it sounds like the wife is about to get into.
What was it really like?
He was running from the
I moved
DNA
on just
test.
because I really didn't think it was mine. In my head, I just didn't have no confidence that the
You
child
were
was mine.
hoping it wasn't yours. You
can
not
say that
even
too.
thought
Turn
it was
down.
yours.
You can say
You
that
were
too.
hoping it
Yeah, you can
wasn't
say that
yours.
too.
Just because you're thinking it's not yours don't mean you run from the DNA test. I'm on the wife's side with that one.
But, people make mistakes and I move on.
Okay. Now, when did he finally get back into your life?
I want to say my son was almost 1 when he took the DNA test. He found out it was his. I was upset, but we kind of worked things out for my son's sake. And, it was okay for a little while until he started with the cheating and a lot of other things that we dealt with.
Now, were you married when he was cheating? Because you've been together for a long time, but only married 5 years.
They were actually only married for 5 of the years. That is actually considered a short-term marriage in many states. So you may not be entitled to as much in the divorce. And generally, where a long-term marriage really matters is how long you're going to get spousal support or alimony for. So the longer the marriage, the longer you can receive spousal support. And the shorter the marriage, the shorter time you would receive spousal support.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you
Off and
something.
on.
You're with a guy, you've been friends forever, you get pregnant, he bolts, he doesn't come back. When he does come back, he's cheating on you. What prompted you to say, he's good husband material, let me go ahead on and marry him?
It wasn't so much as that. I forgave him for a lot of things he did because it wasn't always bad. So I forgave him because I loved him. And at the point of us getting married, I was actually thinking about not dealing with him any longer. And I guess, he asked me and I felt like, maybe if we get married, things will get better.
Oh no, never assume that if you get married, the relationship is going to get better. The person is who the person is, and they do not change unless they actually want to change. So it seems like she was young when she made this decision, but we all should know that men or people in general are not going to change simply because you put a different title on the situation, such as being a husband.
So Holly, why don't you tell me what you think started the marriage down the path to divorce?
I would say my past history of, like you say, my cheating and
Now, when
her
you say
attitude
past
towards me kind
history-
of led.
Yeah, a past history of cheating would definitely lead you down the road to divorce. But some people are forgiven. So maybe he thought that she would forgive him because it seems like she has been forgiving him throughout before the marriage. So why would she not forgive him during the marriage?
Did you cheat on her throughout your relationship, or was there a period of time after you got married that you stopped?
Off and on. You can say that off
So
and
that's
on.
throughout.
Geez.
Right.
What was the longest period of time that you were faithful?
Oh, I always want to say I was good for about a good 4 years. Good 4 years. Doing
A good
before
4
the marriage.
years.
Before the marriage, she asked if you stopped cheating after the marriage, and you said yeah, but you said 4 years before the marriage.
Tell me about the time you found a videotape of him having sex with another woman.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Mr. Hawley was intoxicated, passed out on the couch. I went through his phone, and in his phone was a video of another woman and him, holding the phone out as if he was taking a selfie.
Now wait a
Going-
minute. Now. Can you tell it to me in a way that I won't pass out?
Yes. The woman was giving him service.
Got you. Okay.
Oh,
Mr. Holly,
okay.
can you deny that, or are you just going to just leave it where it is?
I don't think that was me in that video. That's what I can tell you.
Just not
man.
his phone.
I don't think so.
It wasn't me,
It
right?
wasn't me. I didn't do it. I said no. It was not me, Judge. I don't believe that was me. But if it was, I probably was intoxicated, like you said. I don't know though, but it wasn't me.
You're all holding it in a selfie and you telling me that you can't see up close whether that's you or someone else? Because initially he said he doesn't think it was him. And the question is, do you just not remember the night at all, or are you just denying the video?
So I'm going to allow you to tell me what you believe how you believe Mrs. Holly has contributed to the demise of this
Well, she
union.
doesn't respect me as a man, of me doing things I want to do. She nags too much. She's always in my brain about me want to make her right. She want to get mad at me because I want to make her left.
Okay.
That's all.
Why don't you tell me some of the things that she does and says that demonstrate she doesn't respect you as a man?
For instance, punk, sucker. I don't like
That's
them
what
words.
she
I don't like
calls
to be
you?
used.
And she calls you those
yes,
things?
in front of people, in front of company. I just don't like it. It upsets me. You know what I mean?
Do you
That's
believe she's ever
understandable.
cheated on you?
My heart, yes.
In your heart?
Yeah.
That means
That's
you have
so
no evidence.
sad.
You
None
just said
at all.
What?
No visual.
When he's at home, which is, he's in between. So when he's at home, he's just disrespectful. Like, he gets irritated really fast, especially when he's drinking. He has a drinking problem. He'll tell me I'm ugly. He'll tell me, when I contemplate leaving him, no other guy will want you. If they do, it's only to use you. He'll try to, put me down, and he's
Out of
miserable to be
retaliation,
around.
Judge. Out of retaliation for the words she
Retaliation
said.
for what?
He's
For the fact that
miserable
she
to
called
be
you
around.
another
the same
woman?
words, so I just try to use it towards her to anger her.
It seems like they're both really immature and they are emotionally abusive and verbally abusive to each other. So it makes sense that they are separating. This is not a healthy relationship from what I'm seeing here.
Are you an active and attentive father?
Yes.
He's a good father, yeah. He's just a bad
That's
husband.
good.
A good father, but a bad husband.
Yeah, he's a
That
good
happens
father.
a lot.
You know, when this thing ends, as well it should, don't interrupt that relationship. Encourage it.
No,
You're
never.
mad at you know.
Never.
I don't know, and I have no sense that you're going to do that.
Yeah.
But I always like to say that because it's easy to get that all when you're mad and tumbled, you've been used and abused,
Yeah.
and let that be. Don't mess in that.
Yeah.
Not that you would, but I'm just putting it out there and make it easy for her to be nice to you.
That is really good advice coming from the judge. Just because he's a bad husband, do not interrupt the relationship that he is having with the child, especially if you're saying that he is a good father. So now we're going to get into what actually happened to this wedding ring.
So, Mrs. Holly, tell me about the ring that you say Mr. Holly pawned.
Okay, me and Mr. Hawley at that time were not in a good place. I was washing the dishes that night, and I put it, up on top of the microwave. I went to work and forgot to put it back on. When I got home, it wasn't there. So I called Mr. Hawley, and let him know. I thought maybe somebody had came into the house or broke into the house because the door wasn't closed all the way, and stole it. So he came home and he was helping me find it for 2 days, tearing the house up and down. And my mom is kind of good friends with the neighborhood pawn shop. So long story short, my mother called me and said, "I think your ring is in here." So I come down to the pawn shop and it's in the for sale, where they put the
window
counter.
in the display.
The display. And so, I showed them my owner's certificate and everything, and I told them it was my ring, and they were telling me, well, they pulled it up, and his name was on the slip. And they said, in order for you to get it back, I have to pay $400 because being that me and Mr. Hawley are married, they would not just give it back to me.
So it sounds like because they are married, the pawn shop is not going to give it back to her as in it was stolen because they would be in receipt of stolen goods and they could be facing criminal charges. But since she is married to him and they probably paid him $400 for the ring, she basically has to reimburse them the $400 they likely gave to him for the ring in order to call everything even. So technically it's not stolen goods because they're married. It could could be considered community property. He could have had permission to sell it. She could be changing her mind. So it makes sense that the pawn shop is like, hey, you got to give us back what we gave to him or a portion of what we gave to him.
What happened with the ring?
Well, yes, I found it. We were searching for it, and I absolutely found it. But I felt like if she
Did
lost
you
this-
pawn it?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you
my
pawn
gosh.
it?
Because at the time I was careless at the time. I didn't understand why would she lose her ring or act like she lost the ring, talking about she was washing dishes. But it didn't make any sense because where I found the ring at doesn't look like it was in no dishing area.
How much did you pay for the ring?
30. We got
He
her for
didn't
like
pay for
31,
anything.
but I didn't pay for it. She paid for it.
That is even worse. So you sold a ring that you didn't even buy. So you couldn't even argue that it's community. Well, you can still argue that it's community property if you bought it during the marriage. But you didn't even buy the ring and you had the audacity to sell it because you were upset and thinking that she accidentally lost it. Even if she did, she's the one that paid for it. So what would give you the right to then go and sell it? Oh my gosh, that just disgusted me so much.
You mean to tell me it made logical sense to you that you found a ring in a place you thought it oughtn't be,
Right.
so you would go and lose all of that money to pawn it? I mean, how
My
much money
intentions was
did
to
they
get it
give
back.
to you?
My intentions was to get it back, but my
Well, what
money
was the
didn't come
purpose
in.
of pawning it?
I don't know. I was broke at the time, so I just decided to get some
He
change.
had it to begin with. He helped me find it when he already had it.
No, not true.
That's even worse.
Mr. Holly? No. It's all over for you. You took that ring and you pawned it. You had no right to take it. It was her ring. Your explanation for it is beyond absurd. Consequently, I will give her $3,100. It is so ordered.
Now let's talk about this ring and why the judge ruled the way that she ruled. First of all, it was a wedding ring and she bought it herself. It's unclear whether she bought it during the marriage or before the marriage as her own engagement ring, but at the end of the day, she bought the ring. So let's talk about what the ownership of the ring would be, whether she bought it before the marriage or during the marriage, and we'll even consider if he actually bought the ring, what would be that outcome. So let's first start with if she bought the ring before the marriage. If she bought the ring before the marriage, it would be considered separate property completely. He would have no claim to it, although she was wearing it as a symbol of their love and that they were married. And the reason why it would be her ring is because they both agree that she bought it before the marriage, so there's no claim that it's community property. It would be considered separate property. All hers, she gets to keep it. And since he sold it and there's no ring to keep, he has to pay her back the value of the ring. If she bought the ring during the marriage, there could be an argument that this ring is considered community property. But in most cases, when we see a wedding ring, an engagement ring, anything of that nature during the marriage that needs to be divided, the court is generally going to give it to the person that wears that jewelry. Why? Because it probably has sentimental value to it. And really, what is he going to do with this ring other than go and propose to somebody else with it? And the fact that she bought it with her money wouldn't matter when they're married because all the money that they earned during the marriage would be considered community property. In this case, that ring she was wearing is personal to her. She was wearing it as a sign of their marriage. He was not wearing it. He probably never used it. So the ring would go to her either way it goes, really. Maybe some argument about whether he would get some more in the assets if it was considered community property. Since the ring was only $3,000, which can be a lot to some people, it was not $50,000. So the court is not going to see that as, oh, this was a big asset of the family. Therefore, the parties should divide the value of this ring. Like I said, it's personal in nature to the wife, and it's not so expensive that a reasonable person would have considered this to be something that was community property that they intended to split if they ever broke up. Now let's talk about if he was an upstanding man and he would have bought this ring before the marriage as an engagement ring to show his love to her. In many states, an engagement ring is considered a conditional gift, and the condition is that you have to marry the person in order to be able to keep the ring. In this situation, if the ring was given to her as an engagement ring, they got married. If he bought the ring, she would still be entitled to keep that ring. Again, personal in nature. Again, it is a gift to her. That is her separate property. If he bought the ring during the marriage, the same analysis would apply. Is this something that's personal in nature to the wife? Yes. Is it so expensive that the parties reasonably would believe that it is a joint asset that should be divided at the time of separation? No, the ring would still go to her. So no matter which way you flip this situation, the ring belongs to her and he had no right to sell it at all. So I definitely agree with the judge in awarding the wife the $3,100 because the husband had no right to touch the ring, sell the ring, do anything with the ring. He needs to pay her back for it. And remember, y'all, that different states have different laws, so this can play out differently in your court. And if you have a similar situation, make sure you're consulting with an attorney in your area. But anyways, this was a crazy case. If you enjoyed it and you made it this far, make sure you are liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I will catch y'all all in the next video. Bye.